Despite the COVID-19 pandemic being with us for more than 2 years now, African tech startups are raising money at a record pace. The number of equity crowdfunding rounds have gone from 55 in 2015 to just 359 in 2020, with a constant growth of the deals every year. In 2020 alone, more than $3 billion was invested in African tech startups, and these opportunities, innovation, are on display at the Expo 2020 Dubai, which has been going on for the past 6 months. We are joined now by the chairperson of the SA Innovation Summit, Dr. Audrey Verhaeghe. Thank you very much, Dr. Verhaeghe, for joining us. The SA Innovation Summit is well known in South Africa. You are known for showcasing, connecting and capacitating tech startups for over 15 years now. So what is new that has sent you to the Expo 2020 in Dubai?
Thank you for having me, and thank you for this opportunity. Yes, like you've mentioned in the intro, African tech startups are doing so well. It's really the co-creation story from Africa to the world, and the money is flowing to the continent and also South Africa. So our institution, it was a 3-day event, but we expanded it to become the Tech Tribe. So it's an online community free for any tech startup across Africa. And recently we launched a fund called Anza Capital to multiply in great numbers. So now we are actually solving 365 days this thing, the tech startup, where to go, what to learn, how to raise money, and we have the money investment just next to it. And we wanted to tell the world, 56 countries participate at the SA Innovation Summit every year, and most of them from Africa. And now I think the ecosystem has a plug-in. You know, of course, we work with lots of investors, but now we can say we will invest as well.
Tell us more about these tech startups on the continent and the rest of the world. Why are they so important? And you've mentioned before that there is something called a unicorn. What is a unicorn in the form of a tech startup?
Yes, let's define that for the audience, because we all know about the myth, that, you know, the horse with the horn called the unicorn. But that mythological creature in the business world is called a $1 billion company. So as soon as any company surpasses $1 billion in the business world, we call that company a unicorn. Now, tech startups have that capability to do it very fast, like in under 10 years, to grow to that enormous amount. And this was well known in Silicon Valley and other pockets across the world. But in Africa, last year, March 2021, we only had 2 unicorns. In October last year, we had 10 unicorns. So this tech startup space is very important because it creates inclusive financial solutions. It brings insurance to people that's never been served. It gives ed-tech solutions to people who can access internet. So it's leapfrogging a lot of impact on the continent. And if we can have more of them that belongs to Africa, these founders will exit, they will become very rich people, but that money will come back to Africa and fund and recycle and grow bigger. So it's a leverage point. It's a point that can make our story so different. If we get that point is the point where we can actually go cross borders, we can grow. We don't have to wait for other people to tell us to grow. It's in the hands of Africans to change the story, and digital made this possible.
let's talk about this money that's flowing in. It's all good and well that money is being plowed by investors in tech startups on the continent, but also there have been constant concerns raised about infrastructure backlogs, stifling growth on the continent. How fast can you move from investment to actioning some of those tech startups, and what role does infrastructure play, and those bottlenecks that are there when it comes to infrastructure, what role does it play? Do we still have those problems of infrastructure on the continent?
So, of course, every country is different. Africa consists of many different countries, and they differ. Like the world, I mean, in Europe, we've got a war going on. It's not good news for the people there. It's not that any continent doesn't have their problems. In our continent, we've got many countries that are different. And in the south of Africa, southern part, the 16 countries now has a free trade agreement, which should make last mile logistics across borders, payment solutions, and all kinds of things that's coming in the next few years much easier. And say, for instance, you trade it in South Africa, suddenly your market jumps from 60 million to 1.2 billion. It's a much better conversation to have, that's the size of, I'm talking humans now. So it's just digital and where we are as a continent, a growing middle class, just makes a space where a tech startup, and remember, many tech startups, like the education tech startup, what's the infrastructure? It's online, it's in the cloud, it's accessible to most in Africa. Where you've got last mile logistics, sure, you need a road, you need maybe a bike, but if you can combine that with technology, it makes it easier. You can track with drones, you can drop medical equipment in the furthest regions with drones, as long as you've got legislation that allows drones to fly. So technology doesn't overcome everything, and for technology you need tech infrastructure, but most of Africa is very aware of it and see this as a way to leapfrog a lot. Technical infrastructure, and the roads follow, and the capability to connect follows, and most African countries get that and are investing in it. And it's growing like a hockey curve, at an exponential rate. This space that we're talking about, tech startups, grows at 120% across Africa. That means a medium across all countries with their lows and their ups, 120% per year.
Tell us about this fund, Dr. Verhaeghe, this fund that's connected to the SA Innovation Summit. Equity crowdfunding rounds have grown, and now you have ANZA Capital.
So we're not the only fund, but what we are plugging is the space where many other funds don't play. So a lot of funds came from the big corporates to venture capital, but the big players that play in a Series A, that means this company is now ready to grow across borders. Now, that takes a long journey to actually get to the point that people accept your technological solution. You've got a market. So we play even earlier. We play from seed up to that growth phase. And that's it's a huge missing component, because the risk is quite high. And more players realize if they don't play earlier, they will not be part of the bigger deals. So there's a mind shift happening on the continent, and we are plugging what they call a 42 trillion shortage of money in Africa. We're one of the players there.
A lot of businesses and individuals are listening to you right now, and they are wondering, how do they get involved?
You can follow the Innovation Summit process. It's www.innovationsummit.co.za, based in South Africa, but serving Africa through also the techtribe.co.za. So you can follow us, subscribe to the newsletter, and most of what we do is for free and in support of tech entrepreneurs. And then ANZA, the funder, is anza.holdings.org. That's the website, but you can link with us through the Innovation Summit. It's the easiest. You will then be plugged into competitions, the Innovation Summit, the Tech Tribe. Become part of the community. It's for free, and we inspire each other and let know of opportunities. So it's really worth it.
Dr. Audrey Verhaeghe, the chairperson at the SA Innovation Summit, thank you very much for your time there in Dubai, making sure that we showcase Africa's capabilities when it comes to tech startups.